Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Belief Cast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires Belief Cast. Thank you for tuning in once again. I appreciate all your love and support. I'd like to get a shout out to my sponsors, Craig Swap and Associates, Maury Nutrition, Wasatch Recovery, Thread Wallets, and then the music you heard at the beginning, at the end of this podcast is by my good friend Paul Cardall. He's got an amazing story himself. He's an award-winning pianist, Grammy award-winning. He's got 25 million active listeners, and for him to allow us to use his music is a dream come true. So thank you, Paul, for being so good to us. And today we are joined by Christian Smith. He's been on the podcast actually several times. You've probably been on the podcast the most out of anybody over the years, and that says a lot because I have a lot of people wanting to be on this podcast. I'm booked out until the end of September, and that means a lot that you would be willing to come back on. And I hope you know, I know we talk about this off the air, but I do really appreciate you as a friend and just the way you carry yourself in your life and the way you treat people.
Well, thank you. The feeling is very mutual.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, so, a lot of people who tune in have definitely heard your story before, but let's get just a 2-minute background on why you are now, the marketing director of Wasatch Recovery. Yes, Decker, I said director.
Well, Decker's not going to be happy about that.
No, you're in our marketing department with Decker, and you guys doing a fantastic job of getting people the help they need. But that didn't happen by accident. So just give a quick background on you, Christian, if you would.
Let me clear my throat. That was phlegm. Okay. I don't know where to begin other than to say, let's start at the back here. I'm 64.
Okay.
Married 42 years. 4 children with now 11 grandchildren. Born and raised here in Utah. It's important to say, I guess, that part of this upbringing included active participation in the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. I think that's important to say because in the recovery process, religion and spirituality would become different for me.
We actually did a podcast on the difference between religion and spirituality. It was a great one too.
So, and I think that's important in the whole journey.
Yeah.
Married quickly, finished high school. No, didn't sample substance abuses routinely. I did it once in my life before I left to serve a mission for the LDS Church. Come home. Can you say horny on this program, or is that bad?
You already said it, so. But yeah, you had issues around that.
So the remedy for that is that returned missionaries get married. Kelly and I married quickly, and then quickly had some emotional stuff happen with our relationship, Kelly and mine, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and introduced to coping skills through opiates by way of a motorcycle accident. And that would go on. It increased to opiates and alcohol. Gambling was involved over the 27 years spanned this thing out. Wow. Gambling, pornography, inappropriate relationships outside of marriage, and then culminating with crack cocaine. And spent a year and a half in jail. I emphasize jail because Todd keeps saying it's prison. It was jail.
It was jail, yeah.
Okay.
But a year and a half is no joke. That's a long time. It just kind of summarizes how bad things have gotten for you.
Yeah.
For you to have to go that long says a lot.
Yeah. So around age 45, 46 it's been a year and a half, 2006. And finally finished jail. That didn't fix it. Still didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to adult properly without self-medicating. I didn't know how to cope with stress, the expectations of family and the spouse, and so I relapsed after jail quickly. And finally, in 2010, figured it out. Early in 2010, in fact, specifically, I don't count days. You and I've talked about this. I don't count days, but I know the day.
Yeah.
I know the last day. That was
Sure.
that was a pivotal day, and that was February 4th, 2010.
Yeah. Real quick on that, Tony Robbins says, if you're counting the days, it's not lasting change. And I love that, because if you're done, what's the point in counting?
Yeah.
Like, counting's almost like, okay, let's see how far I can go before I relapse.
Yeah, it is kind of that way, isn't it? Set yourself
for
up
sure.
for the...
And again, celebrate success, right? You've been, is it 14?
Going on 15 years.
Going on 15 years clean. That's something to definitely celebrate. But I love that, because, Christian, I think counting the days, it's almost like we're white knuckling it. There's no need you don't even think about it until maybe that date comes. You go, oh yeah, hey, it's been another year. Good for you. Let's celebrate that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But again, I just wanted to point that out.
So finished treatment and realized quickly I liked it. I liked the way I felt. I liked the way it helped my family change, and I wanted to stay in it. Prior to that, I'd spent 15 years in the operating room representing mechanical devices, cardiovascular grafts, and mechanical heart valves, making a good living.
Yeah.
And now I really don't want to go back to that. I'm not sure I could have. I'd done enough stupid things under the influence that I'm not sure I could have,
Right.
But I didn't want to. So I quickly started in the industry. I remember that first year working for a program in Utah County. I have never worked that hard. Hours. This thing never stops, right? The phone's just... There's always crisis going on.
Yeah, something wrong was going on.
And I remember I never worked so hard for so little and been so happy in my entire life than that first year.
Boy, that says a lot.
So here we're going on 15 years and absolutely love it for the most part. There's a lot of emotional highs and lows. As you know, we were invited to too many funerals, but we get to see miracles.
Yeah.
And that's the payoff. And I still love it. I'm getting close to the maybe age of retirement, but that's a nutshell of the journey. Is that fair?
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. And I think, so many people know you, which is so beautiful. Like when I went to a golf tournament with Christian, it was so cool to watch how everyone, oh, Christian, and shaking your hand, and everyone just knows you, and they know to reach out to you, especially when they have someone who's struggling. And your phone typically rings off the hook because of that reason. Like you said, it's a grueling and grinding work sometimes, but it's so cool to see people trust you and feel safe with you, Christian. And I think to me, that's the greatest compliment you could get, is if someone feels safe with you. And I think that's probably could sum that up, is that's what I feel around you. Like, you're just a safe person I could go to with anything.
It's funny that you bring that up, because that seems to be a natural place that almost, everybody that we've watched in a recovery process that started the change, when one is honest and authentic and vulnerable, it just attracts people that need and want some place they can go to be safe, to feel that there's hope.
Yeah, I love that. And what's so funny is because when you were in the thick of that struggle, you were the last person people felt safe with, including your own family.
Yeah. I remember Chad, second son, once he said the only way we knew that Dad was being honest is if my lips weren't moving. Because if my lips were moving, it was pretty much certain I was going to be lying.
He's throwing something.
That kind of stung, but it wasn't far from the truth. I really don't think he was far from the truth. So being honest, vulnerable, and authentic, which is weird, because in the culture I'm around and my Latter-day Saint friends, I'll say, I won't say it on here, but I'll drop some curse words. And it's just kind of the way who I am. And that's authentic. That is me being authentic. And instead of it driving people away, it has actually gone, I kind of want what he has. What is it? And let me figure it out. Well, it's just coming to be able to look myself in the mirror and go, I like that guy, and that guy is authentic and honest.
I love that, Christian. You said something just a minute ago about you start attracting that into your life, right? Like people get attracted to the honesty and the, accountability, that piece of you. And I thought of this quote, and I stood up and went and grabbed this really quick because it reminded me of what you just said, and love to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay.
It's by Neil Strauss. Okay. He says, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is believing that love is finding the right person. In reality, love is about becoming the right person. Don't go looking for the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Become the type of person you want to spend the rest of your life with. The people who deserve you will naturally gravitate towards you. Unquote.
Man, that's pretty profound.
Isn't that beautiful?
Who wrote?
Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard this about 6-7 months ago, and I was like, wow. Because I think we were, I got to go find the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with and love, which again makes sense because we want that connection. But I love that if you just become the most amazing version you possibly can of you, those people will naturally gravitate towards you.
I think that's true. And I love that as you're saying that, reading that, I thought for so much of my life, I was seeking that I would find love if somebody would offer, if the right person would accept me and offer me love, then I would feel love.
Yeah.
Like, Kelly, if you'll just be nicer to me, I will then love you more.
Yeah.
Or whatever that looked like from external sources. And you're exactly right. Looking back, it was something I found internally. And I wasn't deliberately or consciously seeking it. Over a period of time, I just was able to look in the mirror and go, you know what? I like you now.
Yeah.
And then that would turn into, you know what? I love you. I got flaws. Everybody does. But I like who I am becoming.
Yeah.
And the parts of me who I am. And I'm still evolving. We had grandkids over. So if Abby's listening to this, I apologize a little bit. Kelly and I were blessed with the privilege of watching 3 grandchildren, Abbey and Cody, their children, for 8 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the camera's on this, you want it for 8 days, man. 8.
It's a long time.
Kelly, God bless her. She's flipping an angel. But I found myself becoming irritated and little lack of patience. And so when I say I got flaws, I got a lot of them. I love those grandkids.
Yeah.
Let's tell a story. Can we tell a story about grandkids?
Yeah. Are you going to get into the one we were going to talk about?
Yeah.
Can we hold on
Okay,
one
we're holding
second?
off.
And again, listeners, you're going to love, but yet it's also going to be gut wrenching what Christian's going to share with you here in a minute. Before you get there, one of the things that I want to kind of set this up a little bit. That's why.
Okay.
Because I want our listeners to know, they hear this a lot on the podcast. I share it with the clients all the time. And I learned this by reading James Allen, who wrote about this stuff in the early 1900s, where he basically was saying that, the term is life happens for us, not to us. And if you understand what that actually means, it's so powerful and actually freeing. But it's really difficult to buy into that when you're in the thick of something heavy, something really bad or really difficult, or some traumatic things that have happened to you, where maybe at times you were the victim of someone's anger or assault or whatever. It's really difficult to hear that. But over the years now, I'm a little younger than you. I'm 56 now, and I have learned so much looking back on my life going, wow, that happened for me, not to me. But as I was going through it, I'm like, this isn't fair. Why would God, or why would the universe, or why would this ever happen? What did I do to deserve this? And sometimes life just isn't fair. And so for those who have not heard that concept before, if you're going through something difficult this very moment in listening to this podcast, this is going to be hard for you to grasp just because it's tough when you're in the middle of it. But if you look back at any other time in your life where you've gone through something hard, and if you can look back and go, what did you learn from it? And you can literally pinpoint it and bullet point and write down, you couldn't argue it actually did happen for me. And so I just wanted to set that up where James Allen would say, there's no power in the circumstance, just in the thoughts we put around it. So the circumstance has no power. Good or bad, we can say whatever. We can argue if it's good or bad. But what James Allen would say, and by the way, he's famous for writing As a Man Thinketh, he would say, It's just in the thoughts we put around it. And I'm going to give one example, and then we're going to get into your story. You take two kids taking the same class at school. Same class. One kid gets a C+, the other kid gets an A-. Okay? The kid that got the C+ thinks it's wonderful. Goes home, celebrates, tells the whole family, I got a C+, class is over, sleeps like a baby. The kid that got the A- thinks they're a failure. I should have got an A. I should have got an A. Why didn't I get an A? Right? They go home, isolate, and they can't sleep that night. And the only difference between those two kids is the thought they put around the grade. One kid thinks the C+ is wonderful, sleeps like a baby, is free, if you will. The kid who got the A- thinks it's bad and that they're a failure and cannot sleep. They're basically in prison, if you will.
Yeah.
So point being is our thoughts, the way we look at things, our perception is everything. It really, truly is. And so life happens for us is something you and I are going to talk a lot about right now. You have a story you're going to share about one of your grandkids that is really kind of gut-wrenching, to be honest. I know when you first told me, you were in the thick of it, really, just the aftermath of it. And boy, you know, I could see it in your face, and you were holding back tears, and you were distraught. But yeah, I'd love for our listeners to hear this amazing story.
Okay, I hope that in this experience that there's lessons to be learned for others. I mean, I learned a lot, but I hope there's others. So I hope it's not wasting the listeners' time.
Not at all. I think this is going to be great.
Okay, so not this past Saturday, but 9 days ago, Saturday. We have the grandkids. We're on day 2 of Cody and Abbey's watching their kids.
Yeah.
And I took a little break and went and played golf that Saturday morning. And on the way home, I called Kelle, my wife, and said, you know, where are you at? Where do you want me? How can I support you? And she said she was over at Sara's house, Sara and Holden's house, swimming at the pool there, and asked if I'd come by. So I come by. So here's the setup. It's now 2 p.m, beautiful day. I've got 2 grandsons in the pool with me who are 4 and 5, and we're just doing grandkid stuff, which is loud, obnoxious, throwing in the water, having a great time.
Yeah.
Kelly's on the pool side, sunbathing a little bit. She'd get in the pool every once in a while, just cool off, then go back and read a book and sunbathe. And Sara is to Kelly's right, reading a book. And in the house, we have 2 2-year-olds napping, and Sarah's newborn, 4-month-old, also napping. And Sara she never got in the pool. She wasn't dressed for the pool. She just would go in the house periodically and check on the kids and then come and read a book and that. So at around 2:30, I am playing in the pool, loud, a lot of noise, and I think I hear a scream of call 911. And so I tell the boys to be still for a minute, and I pause there for a second because I said to the boys in a matter of be still with this voice that typically they would go, what are you talking about, Gramps? We're having fun. And they just immediately went quiet. And then seconds later, I heard the definitive scream, call 911. Kelle gets out of her chair, goes into the back house. I can't see the back of the house from where I was in the pool. I tell the boys, get out of the pool. And typically they would kind of go, what's going on? Why? They just heard my voice, get out of the pool.
That tough, strong voice.
And I go to the back of the house to enter the house, and my wife Kelly's walking back out to watch the boys. No words were exchanged, but I saw in her eyes some fear. I walk in the house and I see Sara sobbing, screaming, please save my son, or save my child, or something like that, screaming. Look at the baby in her arms who was lifeless, colorless, lifeless, limp, not breathing, and she's just screaming. And something took over. Okay, let's do what we got to do.
Yeah.
And I started doing some measures to preserve that Hayes' life. I'll skip most of that, but it went on for 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Wow. We know that because that's later on we determined that's how long it took for the paramedics to get there. Wow. And I never was thinking. I wrote that thought down. The power is in the thoughts put around events. Now I'm paraphrasing the quote you just gave us a little bit, but that I wrote that down because it keeps coming up in my head. So the paramedics get there, and they life-flight him to Primary Children's. And just before they got there, or just before they life-flighted him, he came to, and it appeared like he had probably vomited some milk bottle while he was sleeping and then aspirated it, and they were able to suction it. And the boy's good. He's good, really now. But that night, I'm laying in bed, and it started to dawn on me, what the heck just happened here? I mean, I'm having these thoughts, right? The power comes in the thoughts.
Yeah.
The thoughts where we could be planning for a funeral right now. And so my mind's kind of spinning a little bit. And I do remember in the middle of the night waking up sobbing, and I had the thought of, Todd, you're full of crap. Todd Sylvester is full of crap. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Well, he has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because how in the heck
Yeah.
can we spin this that this happened for me?
Yeah.
Well, fast forward a little bit. The next day, Sunday, he's still in the hospital. Next day, they're ready to discharge him from primers early in Sunday morning. And while he's sleeping again, it happens again. But this time he's all monitored so they can get on top of it real fast.
Yeah.
And, the long story made short is, at first they thought it was a sleep apnea problem. Well, what they've determined it was and is a acid reflux problem.
Mm.
Very treatable.
Yeah.
Give some meds that will help the acid stuff, and then change the way you feed him. You don't feed him like you typically would a newborn. And when he's done feeding, you got to sit him upright for 30 minutes or longer.
Yeah.
So that will stay where it's supposed to stay, and we don't have to fight this reflux and regurgitation and aspiration. So this is all inside of a few days now. And then let me back up.
Okay.
I went through this phase where when I saw you on that Monday, I was just, it had all just started to hit, like, holy cow. And I was hurting. Like, I was really, really hurting, sobbing all the time. I told you on that Monday, I didn't want to be to work on Monday. I wanted to be at home, just alone, which you canceled. Might not be the, it's an idea, but maybe not the best idea to go home and be alone and let the brain just start coming up with these crazy thoughts, which just add more stress, anxiety, and non-productive at all, illogical. So within a day or two of that, I get a text from Sara. The text read, "Thank you for being sober. Had you not have been sober, we might have been planning for a funeral." She clearly thinks that I saved Hayes' life. I don't know if that's the case, but I know I did everything I could to get a little baby who wasn't breathing. And so I remember that event when I received that text. Thank you for being sober. Yeah. The gifts of being sober. Now, we don't know. We know immediately that didn't happen to us, happened for us for Hayes' personal well-being. Hayes is good. Sarah still struggles right now. Sure. It's only been 10 days.
Understandably
8 days.
so.
Yeah. She's not sleeping well. She can't take her eyes off Hayes. And understandably so.
Yeah.
But I believe, Todd, that with all my heart, I believe because of those events, she'll be a better human being.
Yeah.
She'll talk to you that she can't get that out of her mind. Again, it's only been 8-9 days. She can't get the vision she had when she walked in to check on Hayes, and there's lifeless, colorless, breathless baby.
Yeah, tough.
But I do want to believe that there will be, for Sara specifically, Hayes, guy's better because of this. That happened for him, not to him.
Yeah.
Sara, we're still trying to figure it out. And I think I wouldn't mind talking to you and exploring a little bit about what your thoughts are of what does someone like Sara do? I know, and you know, this will be for her good. I know it will be.
Yeah.
She can't see it right now.
For sure.
Okay, go.
Well, I think of what Mr. Rogers, the old late Mr. Rogers said, if you can mention it, you can manage it. So she needs to talk about it. obviously. And just talking about it, hey, I can't get these images out of my head. I need to vent to someone. I need to talk to you, Dad. I need to cry for a minute. I need to feel the emotion, feel it again for a minute. But that's honestly the best way to get past this, is talking about it. And I know that sounds so simplistic, but I'm telling you, those are hard things to talk about, because what it does is it brings back up those images again. And then whoever she's talking to, it would be good to point out, okay, totally understand. I'm here with you. I want to point out a couple good things that happened in that moment, though. And what it does is it helps her a little bit, going, oh, yeah, that's right. I wasn't thinking of that, or I forgot about that. Just little, and again, you're just chipping away at this slowly. And I get it. Sara, you're going to feel this, and no one in the world would argue with you. You should be feeling this. And we're not here to say you shouldn't feel it. What we're here to say is mention it, talk about it, and then we'll try to point out some things that actually came good of it. Just like her sending you that text. That obviously hit her. That's a positive.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I got a sober father now. I got a dad who's really doing the right things now. And this really opened up her eyes even more so. So that in itself, her connection with Dad, is probably 10 times stronger because of the event. So right there's a positive. Yep, the images are still in your head. Yep, they're going to be there for a minute.
Does it go to reframing what we're focusing on?
Yeah.
If I focus on the C+ as a failure, to the example you gave earlier on, versus focusing on, holy cow, last year I got a C- or a D. This is freaking awesome.
I'm doing better.
There is literally physical change and emotional and different thought patterns that are more productive than if I'm focusing on, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and matter of fact, if we get really into the deep woods, it's a chemical change in the body. So there's the law of God, or the law of the universe, however you want to look at it, but I call it the law of God. What you focus on increases. And you think about that, it's the law of increase. If I focus on all the negative in the world, I'm going to see it everywhere, and I'm going to have all the proof in the world, and it's going to magnify, and I'm going to be brought down to the depths of just anguish and despair. And I know this because 10 years ago, my mentor said, stop watching the news. And I listened to him because I always listen to my mentor. I haven't watched the news in 10 years. I'm not kidding you. I do not watch the news. And because he understood that, when you consume yourself with all that negative stuff, matter of fact, a study came out and said if you watch 3 minutes of the evening news, you have a 30% chance you're going to have a horrible day. So imagine if you watched an hour of news, which most people do. Anyway, point being is what we focus on magnifies. And so right now, obviously, Sara's focused on what happened. Who wouldn't? Especially a mother. Oh, my goodness. But again, as we start chipping away and having her focus on a few little things here and there over time, and pretty soon she starts focusing on all the good. Pretty soon, and I promise you, on my word, one day she'll look back and go, I can see how this happened for me. It might take a while, but that's okay. It will come. And Sara's, I choke up because I really think the world of her. She's tough as nails, and she's a lot like you. You two are so much alike personality-wise, but more so even the way you carry yourselves. And so you're resilient SOB, Christian. You really are. But so is she.
She is too.
And she'll get there. Again, she needs to feel it for a while. Good. Talk about it, but she needs to talk about it.
Okay, let's explore this.
Yeah.
There's one difference. Sarah and I are a lot alike, but there's one difference that we have in the way we see things.
Okay.
If I walk in and put a glass of water, that the volume of water in the glass is midway from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
I'm picking my words here deliberate. People are going, why did you just say it? If I walk in and see that my brain goes, well, that's half full. Sarah's brain naturally sees it as, no, that's half empty. So you're with me on this, Todd?
Yes, yeah.
Her natural disposition seems to be to see for lack of a better word, the negative side.
Mm-hmm.
And my natural disposition is always to see the positive side. My question to you is, now we have Sara in a position where there's a lot negative she could focus on. There's also a lot of positive from this trauma experience.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can someone who their natural disposition is to see it as half empty, change that over a period of time
100%.
so that their natural disposition is, no, that glass half full?
100% people can change that. I mean, I see belief systems change all the time. I look at my own life and the belief systems I've had in my life that held me back for decades, where I put in the work. Now, here's the thing. To change that, because if that's kind of naturally what she's done, she learned that somehow growing up. So she naturally leans in that direction. So it will take a lot of work to change it. The key is not what do you want, what pain are you willing to go through to change it?
Yeah.
If she's willing to go through the pain of changing that, and I know her, she's tough, and I know if she puts her mind to it, that woman will do it. I love Sara. She's powerful. Dipin Parmar says, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. I promise anyone listening to this, if you have anything that's holding you back, if you'll put in the work, you can change that. I think where people fail or stop, and I'm one of them, I've done it before in my life too, is that, God, am I really willing to go through this pain to actually have what I say I want? There's a lot of pain involved there, and pain could be just mental struggle or emotional struggle or whatever it may be, right? So that's a long answer to your question, but the answer is yes, we can change anything if we're willing to put in the work.
I think in the world I've been in, and you, of addiction and recovery, I think there's a few universal traits that we see in people who repeatedly relapse and then need or seek more treatment.
Yeah.
One of them is their inability to cope with discomfort. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And the other is inability to go work.
Yeah.
To work. This stuff, we look at Decker, look at you, look at me, and many others that are in our circle who have gone through horrific addiction and pain through that addiction.
Yeah.
And yet they're living now clean, sober, free, joyous, and happy. And so many times our people that come into treatment go, I want what you have, Todd. And I think if I just sit in your office long enough, maybe I'll get it. But that's an over-exaggeration.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, though, yeah.
But the work, you're doing what is this thing you're preparing for? You're still preparing for that stupid thing you're going to talk about pain.
The Spartan.
The Spartan.
Yeah.
When is that?
It's a week from Saturday.
How long have you been training for this?
Since October.
And you did it last year?
Yeah, this will be my fourth time doing it this year. But I trained on my own the last 3 years, and I put in some work, but nothing. I actually hired a personal trainer this year, and it hasn't been fun, to be honest with you. It's that work that the years before I wasn't willing to put in.
That's what I'm
and the pain I wasn't willing to go through. This year I was willing to go through some pain because I really want to dominate the course this year.
So how can we take this, the pain Sara went through, the pain I went through, Hayes went through, and then last year I recall you talking about this Spartan race, hardest thing you ever physically done.
For sure.
If I remember at one point, you were crying, doing one obstacle, crying, thinking, I'm done, I can't do it.
Yeah. Yep. I remember it like
a grown man crying in pain, fear, agony.
Yeah.
Ready to quit.
Yep.
And doesn't. And I'm thinking, hey, you finished it? Great. That's good. You're going to do it again. What can somebody take from that? I mean, how can we bring this around to people that are out there suffering? Don't have to sometimes. You don't have to suffer.
Yeah. You don't. It's a great question, and I hope I can give it some good good answer, if you will. I just think we play small, and we don't realize how tough we really are. Like, I think we forget how powerful our minds are, how powerful we can be. I mean, again, looking at your life, and you were in jail for 1.5 years, and that tells you something, how bad things had gotten for you in your life. But yet you dug deep, and here you are going on 15 years clean. That, to me, that's like someone running 100 miles up in the mountains with nonstop. We would go, oh man, look at that person, they run 100 miles. But someone overcoming what you went through and what others have done, what does that say? So I just think anyone's suffering right now, it's so hard to even see it because you're stuck in the middle of this battle. That's why we need other people sometimes to go, hey, let me point out some things that you're not seeing because you're caught up in this, if you will, suffering. But I promise you, I don't care who you are. I mean, there's been times training with my personal trainer, dude, I would get mad at him like, dude, I'm not doing that. And he'd get mad at me like, dude, do you really want to change? Do you really want to get strong? Do you really want to fix these weaknesses that are in your body? And I had a lot of them. And I looked at him one time, I said, this isn't fun. And he goes, it's not supposed to be. I mean, I had moments where I was like telling my trainer to kiss a rock, you know? So, but it's no different. Anything we're going through.
It isn't.
You want to change something? I swear, if you'll just put in the work. But again, I know it's easy and natural, if you will, to avoid the discomfort. I want to avoid that. So, again, I always say this, there's no special people in the world, or we're all special because we're all the same. We all have the ability to do great things if we'll put in the work. Anyone who's ever done anything good in this world, like noteworthy, if you will, 15 years clean, that's noteworthy. It's because you dug deep and you worked and went through pain to get there.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care. You see anyone in the world going, oh, I wish I was them. Look how good they are. Okay, are you willing to go through the pain to get there? And sometimes the answer is no, I'm not willing.
Well, more often than not, in this world I've been working in with you, we hear oh yeah, for sure I do. But they really don't.
Yeah, I think they don't understand, okay, because when you get in the pain, when you actually get in it, then it's like, ooh, this is a lot more painful than my brain could imagine. But again, that's why we need each other. That's when, like if I saw you struggling, we talked on that Monday, you came in and, after
I
what
needed
happened
you
to your
that Monday.
We chatted.
I needed another man that could just say it's going to be all right, Christian.
And that's all it was. And again, you were still hurting, even though you left the office. And I know you talked to a few other people, which was great, and I'm glad you did. But you just needed just that little bit of reassurance, that little nudge to keep you pushing in the right direction, little nudge. And that's what's the same with Sara. She's just going to keep a nudge here and a nudge there and a reminder here and a reminder there. And eventually it's going to click in her and she's going to go, okay, I can now, I'm there. I can see that it happened for me. And I'll tell you, it's one of the biggest misconceptions in treatment when people come up to you, if you've been through trauma or anything, is just let it go.
Yeah.
Now, what does let it go mean? Like if you need to forgive someone that's done something really bad to you, just let it go. That's magical thinking. What do you walk outside and throw your arms up in the air and let it go? What I have found let it go means is you have to see how did what this person put you through happen for you. And then when you can get there, then you go, oh, now I can truly forgive because I'm grateful that you put me through that. And I know people are hearing this like, what? But I'm telling you, that's the game changer.
It's a universal.
It's freaking game changer.
It is. We have, I'm going to offend some people, and I don't deliberately do it, but the stance of being a victim is another thing that we see, at least I see in the recovery process all the time.
Yeah. And
there's something to be said for what you just said as how do you get out of being a victim? At some point you stay there because you like it. Even though you can, no, I don't want to, I hate this.
Yeah.
Well, then reframe it.
Yeah.
How did those events, as horrific as they are, how do those things happen for you? And as soon as you can reframe that there is some positive on this, you're no longer in the stage of victim, and you can actually go forward now.
Yep. Yeah. Victim stance is the killer. It keeps us stuck more than anything. Like you said, we see it so much in what we do. But here's a great answer to that question by James Allen.
Oh, man, I love this. This is good.
Listen to this. When one has reached the lowest point of sorrow, when weak and exhausted and overcome with a sense of powerlessness, he cries to God for help, and there comes no answering comfort and no succor. Then, discovering the painfulness of sorrow and the insufficiency of prayer alone, he is ready to enter the path of self-renunciation, ready to purify his heart, ready to practice self-control, ready to become a spiritual athlete, and to develop that divine and invincible strength, which is born of self-mastery.
Holy cow.
I know. What?
You kidding me?
James Allen, where did you get that?
In the early 1900s, correct?
Correct. I mean, unbelievable. So what I take from that is that when we have this sense of we're overcome with grief and despair and pain, and we reach to God in prayer, which is, again, a good thing to do. I'm all about prayer. But it's not enough. And I know a lot of people are going, what? Now, can God do a miracle for us instantly? Absolutely. I've seen it. But what normally happens is that miracle actually, we're hit within our chest. Okay, Todd or Christian or Sara or anyone else struggling, it's time for you to stand up and put in some work and become that spiritual athlete, right? To work on that self-control, which leads to that self-mastery. When we can learn to control us by being honest, having integrity, being accountable, helping people, that kind of thing over and over again, and we become really good at that, that's what God really wants to see us do. If he instantly sends the miracle, we put in no work other than the prayer, which, again, don't get me wrong. There's moments where that absolutely needs to happen. But I think what I found in 99.99% of my prayers is the answer always is, okay, Todd, I'm going to give you the desire and the energy to put in the work in the direction you need to change. I don't know. What do you think of that?
No, I think it's something that I missed for so many years. And keep in mind, I didn't find recovery till I was 48, right?
Yeah.
A grown man. And I think I missed the concept of it takes effort.
Yeah.
Life takes effort. To find joy, peace, and freedom, it takes effort.
Yep. I think two of the greatest things we can teach our children. One, answer the question who they are. And number two, what you just referred to, is teach them to work. Teach them to grind. Because life can be a grind.
It is.
And if we do the work and we actually enjoy the grind, if you will, we enjoy working, we enjoy putting in hard work, that's when we go, man, I can do anything. Because I actually I'll be uncomfortable for a while if I need to. As we're saying this, there was an old saying that everybody's heard, most everybody. Life is painful. Let's see. Pain in life, I'm going to mess this up. Pain in life is mandatory. Yeah.
Suffering, optional.
Yeah.
And when I hear that now, those that suffer, pain, you're going to do it. That day, that was painful. We went through a lot of painful.
For sure.
But now the suffering, at some level, no offense, Sara, but at some level now it's self-imposed.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm picking on Sara because she's my daughter and I might be wrong here, but at some level you're holding on to that. And it's in part because you haven't done some work yet. Or maybe it's more work needs to be done, and it's probably more of a process, isn't it?
It's a process,
not
a
a singular
it's definitely
event.
A process. And she'll get there because she is a hard worker. She really is. She will do it.
Can we recall somebody who hasn't got wherever there is that was willing to put in the work?
Yeah.
Everyone. I mean, there's a universal promise we could give to everybody.
Yeah.
You put in the work. In our world, in my world, it's substance abuse with mental health stuff.
Yeah.
Or rather, mental health stuff being manifest through substance use. Every time somebody's gone in and willing to do the work and did the work, leaving no stone unturned, the promise has always been fulfilled.
Always.
Life got better.
Always, always, always. So the next question then, Christian, to you is someone who's listening to your voice right now, who's struggling in the midst of that suffering. What would you tell that one person right now in this very moment? What could they do?
You can't do it alone. I think my first thing is, and I go from personal experience and professional, we tried to do it alone. I'll fix this alone. That ship sailed.
Right.
You can't do it alone. So who are you going to reach out to?
Yeah.
And are you willing to get impeccably honest? You just mentioned, people don't know how cool this is for me. You just mentioned 4 pillars.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you mentioned before on your podcast. But folks, these 4 pillars are the foundation of finding what you want in life.
Absolutely.
Integrity.
Honesty. Accountability.
And
help someone. Service.
Help somebody else.
Yeah.
And so the first thing, you can't do any of that stuff. I tell them you can't do it alone. So let's get some people. Who do we need to get?
Yeah. Okay.
And then second, are you willing to get impeccably honest? Are you willing to serve others? Authentic. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
We can it can happen, man. We've seen miracles out the wazoo.
Yep.
Every flipping day.
Yep. That's beautifully said, Christian. And I think anyone who is listening to this, who's struggling, reach out. Like you said, reach out. If it's Christian, if you need treatment, if you need to get into a place because you are running and gunning right now and you don't know how to stop, call Christian. We'll get you into Wasatch here, or we'll get you into a place that could best suited for you. Yeah. A lot of good places out there. A lot of good people out there doing a lot of good work.
But maybe it's just a call grandma.
Or it could be calling grandma. Yeah.
Or a grandpa, or a mom, or a friend. Somebody who will be honest with you, with love, and tell you how it is. Get you back on those 4 pillars. Integrous, honest, authentic. Accountability, and serve. Help others.
Yep.
Just do those things.
Yeah. No, I love it. Well, I could talk to you all day, my friend.
Yeah, I love
You're amazing.
Thank you for letting me stop in.
You bet. Yeah. And Christian, you always hear the call and you always show up. So thank you for showing up for me today. That means a lot. And just grateful, and thoughts and prayers and love to Sara and her family and yours as well through what you've been going through. And Sara, we love you, and we're here to help you any way we can. And I just want to make that clear,
One last thing, Todd, for me. Sara sent me that text of how grateful she was. I'm sober.
Yeah.
That I could be there.
Yeah.
The world needs to know, Sara and Todd and the rest of you hearing this, I'm grateful that I was clean that day and sober.
Right.
That I could step up to the moment. And I thank my family. I thank God. I thank friends like you and many others. Decker. I shouldn't say any names because there's so many.
There's too many to mention.
And I'll leave someone
You'll
out.
leave someone.
But you know who you are. Family. Dear, real friends.
Yeah.
And people like you, Todd, who are helping me readjust my thinking patterns and my errors that I've held on to for so long. And in doing so, if I've adjusted those, I find more joy, even in times when I'm having to give a grandson life-saving measures. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I thank God for people like you, Todd, and I thank God for recovery.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too. Thank you for saying that. One last little quote from the Bhagavad Gita. For the one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for the one who has failed to do so, the mind will be his greatest enemy. So guys, we're here to change our thinking. We're here to be better in that way. Let's put in the work. Thank you for tuning in. I know this was inspiring for you. Share this with a loved one that you know is struggling. It'll help break the ice. But thank you for the support. Sponsors, I love you. Thanks for supporting this. Again, thanks for the music, Paul Cardall. I love you, brother. And everyone tuning into this, thank you always. You mean the world to me. Till next time.